They're charging this kid with first-degree robbery.
Kid went after the guy with a hammer.
But he didn't.
My son messed up, but he's a good kid.
You have to tell the names of the people you were working with.
I can't tell you that.
Can we recover from that?
I don't know.
A New Bull, next Monday, 10/9 Central, or stream anytime on CBS.
Lithia Subaru of Fresno. Subaru confidence in motion. This is Murrow and Emmy Award-winning CBS 47 Eyewitness News at 11.
It's official. Governor Gavin Newsom will face a recall election.
Today, the Secretary of State confirmed over 1.6 million signatures on the recall petitions are verified, triggering a recall election expected sometime this fall. CBS 47's Kirsten Mitchell has reaction tonight.
Speaking with people on both sides of the issue, they aren't surprised the recall of Governor Gavin Newsom is moving forward. But whether or not he will beat it depends on who you ask. The fate of the final year of Governor Gavin Newsom's term will now head to the voters to decide in a special recall election, sparked by more than 1.6 million verified recall petition signatures, about 133,000 more than needed to get on the ballot.
This is serious business. I mean, this really is the chance for Californians to really get some change done.
Businessman John Cox lost to Newsom in 2018. He's now on the growing list of Republicans vying for his office.
We've got such great people. We've got such great resources. We've got such great assets. What we haven't had is leadership that really cares enough about the people to stand up to these special interests.
Also in the running is former San Diego mayor and Republican Kevin Faulconer. In a statement about the recall, he said in part, "Together we will turn the page on Gavin Newsom's failures and begin a California comeback to reopen our schools, cut taxes for working families, and create jobs for the people of our state."
We've had celebrities, we've had career politicians for decades in this state. It hasn't worked.
Referring to reality star Caitlyn Jenner, who has also entered the race. Not the first celebrity to set eyes on the office. In the state's only recall to date, Democrat Gray Davis was ousted by Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2003. Stephen Maviglio was his press secretary at the time.
I think it's comparing apples to grapefruits. There's so many things that are different. There are a lot more Democrats in the state than there were back in 2003. Gray Davis's popularity was in the high 20%. Gavin Newsom is in the 40s.
Maviglio thinks Newsom will succeed the election so long as a Democrat doesn't enter the race. And pending his job performance between now and then, state officials estimate the recall election would cost $400 million.
Which I think a lot of us would rather see go to fighting real problems, fixing schools, fighting homelessness. But instead, it's going to be spent on this election, only to have it redone if Gavin Newsom wins, a few months later in a June primary and a November election.
Fresno County Democrat David Rowell is backing Newsom, calling the effort divisive and the governor an easy target.
I think it's just a cynical political move by the Republican Party trying to capitalize on an extraordinary year.
Voters who have signed the petition now have 30 business days to remove their name if they choose to do so. Counties have until this Thursday to finish verifying signatures. Reporting in Fresno, Kirsten Mitchell, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Also tonight, here's a look at the numbers of validated recall signatures from the Central Valley. 59,000 from Fresno County, 8,600 from Kings County, 11,000 from Madera County, 1,700 from Mariposa County, and 9,000 from Merced County. Be sure and stay with Eyewitness News and YourCentralValley.com for continuing coverage of the story.
Well, we are going to watch temperatures leap and bound to higher numbers we have not yet seen this year so far. Let's take a look tonight through our Valley Cam network, and we take you to our This is Meadow Lake's camera right here showing the very latest on what's been coming through. Now today we did see a high of 68 degrees. 78 is the average high for this time of year. And out the door right now it is 58 in Fresno, 54 in Visalia, and 57 in Hanford. I'll show you how high these numbers are set to go coming up in your full pinpoint weather forecast.
Justin, thank you. It's the largest settlement in the city of Fresno's history. $4.9 million going to the family of 16-year-old Isaiah Murrieta Golding. As CBS 47's Liv Johnson reports, he was shot and killed by Fresno police in 2017.
The city of Fresno has reached a $4.9 million settlement with the family of 16-year-old Isaiah Murrieta Golding, who was shot and killed by Fresno police in 2017 after he and his brother were identified as suspects in the death of a Fresno teenager. This comes right after the city reached a $4.4 million settlement with the family of Casimiro Casillas, also fatally shot by police in 2015.
We believe settling both of these cases are in the best interest of local taxpayers so that we don't continue to spend millions of dollars on legal fees.
Councilmember Miguel Arias says the city must pay the first $3 million of each settlement before insurance picks up the rest of it. But the money won't go towards putting more officers on the streets.
So they will get additional resources to pay down these settlements, but unfortunately the public would not see more police services as a result of increased investment in the police department.
Michael Haddad, the lawyer who has represented Golding's mom, says he asked the city to formally agree to provide regular training on deadly force to all officers. He claims the city refused.
They really need to do something to make sure this doesn't happen anymore, not just for the money, but to save lives.
Currently, the city is acting on about a third of 73 recommendations that have been submitted by the Fresno Commission on Police Reform. Arias hopes tragedies like this can become a thing of the past.
We're settling use of force cases that could have been avoided if, the use of force would have been changed years ago.
I'm Liv Johnson, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
And a shooting in downtown Fresno puts 2 people in the hospital just after noon today. Police were called to the area of Effie and Illinois Avenue. When they arrived, they found one victim had already walked to the hospital. The other victim was found in a car. Police believe that person in the car was just in the wrong place when the shooting happened.
He was sitting in the driver's side of the vehicle when he was struck by one of the rounds, which kind of leads us to believe that he may have not been involved in any altercation with anybody. He's just a kind of victim of circumstances at this time.
Both victims are expected to recover. So far, no arrests have been made. In news out of the South Valley, 2 suspects are arrested after a deadly shooting in Farmersville. 20-year-old Eric Lopez Ramos and 19-year-old Joe Lara were found in a home in Visalia and booked on homicide charges. They are suspects in the shooting death of 23-year-old Paulino Corral. Detectives say on Sunday the suspects got into an argument with the victim at a business in Visalia. They allegedly followed him to the area of Avenue 280 and Road 156 where he was shot.
In our coronavirus coverage, local health officials are preparing to resume the use of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine after the FDA lifted its pause on Friday. Local health departments are expecting some vaccine hesitancy because of blood clot risks with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They're now working to have the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines at sites as an option.
The benefit is still so much greater than this small risk of having these blood clots that the FDA is recommending the use of Johnson & Johnson.
Tulare County health officials say they will resume the use of the J&J vaccine next week and are working to ensure anyone who wants a vaccine also has options.
And as more COVID-19 restrictions are being lifted, restaurants like the Phoenician Garden Mediterranean Bar and Grill are seeing an uptick in business, so much so that they're having a hard time hiring enough staff to keep up with the renewed demand.
We're begging people to work, basically, and it's just sad that people aren't being productive. People don't want to work. I've been saying this over and over again. We live in a country that's full of opportunities, and for people to not take those opportunities, it just makes us really sad.
Phoenician Garden Mediterranean Restaurant has been able to stay open thanks to loyal customers who continued to be faithful during the height of the pandemic. They are hiring. They say the tips are great, and they treat their workers, they say, like family.
After more than a year, St. Agnes Medical Center is slowly allowing visitors back into the hospital on a limited basis starting today. General visiting is allowed from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. daily. Only one visitor is allowed per patient per day. Visitors must be 18 or older and have no symptoms of illness. A face mask must be worn at all times, and waiting is not allowed in halls, lobbies, waiting rooms, or the cafeteria. And a reminder, we have a coronavirus resources page on our website, yourcentralvalley.com. It includes resources from federal health officials.
We have continuing coverage today. The community leader, Colonel Vang Phong, was laid to rest following a 3-day memorial. He died on February the 17th. He served the U.S. through the CIA's secret war in Laos during the Vietnam War, working alongside with military leader General Vang Pao, who passed away in 2011 in Clovis. Fresno Mayor Jerry Dyer sent his condolences.
He was a person who was considered to be courageous, a leader, a man with a strong work ethic, somebody that General Vang Pao depended on a daily basis as he not only defended the Hmong people, but defended American soldiers. And I am so grateful and thankful for Colonel Vang Phong.
Love each other, learn how to be a friend, know your role if you're in a leadership role. And that's what I learned from him.
The colonel is survived by his 10 children, 31 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren.
President Biden marks 100 days in office this week and will deliver his first address to a joint session of Congress. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
Days away from his 100th day on the job, President Biden is gearing up for his first address to a joint session of Congress Wednesday with a smaller in-person audience.
From his vantage point, it still is an opportunity to speak directly to the American people about the progress that's been made, the work that's still ahead.
A new CBS News poll shows most Americans approve of the way President Biden is handling the country's top priorities, with especially high marks on the coronavirus response and vaccine distribution. High grades on his $2 trillion infrastructure proposal dubbed the American Jobs Plan. But the survey showed a partisan divide.
I give the president A+ on rhetoric, but I give him an F on results.
Republicans are expected to push back against a soon-to-be unveiled second spending proposal from the president, which focuses on families, child care, and education.
One element of this reform will be to change how we tax capital gains. As you all know, that's income from selling stocks and other assets for taxpayers that make more than $1 million per year.
Republicans have also hit President Biden on his handling of immigration, an issue on which he polls under 50%.
The United States plans to increase relief to the region, strengthen our cooperation to manage migration in an effective, secure, and humane manner.
Monday, Vice President Harris met virtually with the president of Guatemala to discuss the root causes of the rising number of migrants, many of them unaccompanied minors, at the southern border.
Coming up on Eyewitness News at 11, a crane falls onto a home in Southern California. We'll hear from the husband and wife who were inside at the time. Plus, a 2-alarm apartment fire in Fresno leaves 1 person injured. Plus, a disturbing trend as more teenagers are climbing over the border wall. That's in tonight's Border Report. We're back in a little over a minute. What happens when first responders can't respond?
No fire response, no medical or rescue response, no one to respond.
In the Creek Fire, 3 volunteer fire stations were completely destroyed,
leaving first responders unable to protect their communities.
Now they're rebuilding, but they can't do it alone. We need your help.
Join CBS 47 and Rotary to give at creekfirerescue.com.
Let's respond to those who respond first.
The 2021 Subaru Forester. A spacious interior with everything you need for confidence on the road ahead. Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 33 miles per gallon. Standard EyeSight driver assist technology. It's the SUV for all you love.
Get 0% APR for 48 months on the new Subaru Forester at Subaru of Fresno, where every new Subaru comes with complimentary maintenance included.
Wednesday, Colbert goes live after President Biden's speech.
Will he heal our nation? Can he help us find common ground? Has he gotten that burger smell out of Air Force One yet?
Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Omega Mental Health. This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Take a look at this. In Southern California, a large crane collapsed on the roof of a home in Ranchos Palos Verdes. It happened around 4 o'clock today as crews were installing solar panels for the homeowners. They say the crash felt like an earthquake.
I was sitting next to the table and the movement lifted the air and I landed down for the floor.
Had it continued, it would have had us. We're having solar put in, and she didn't want the roof messed up. Yeah.
Fire officials say the crane tipped over while carrying metal beams over the house. They were being placed by a pool where the panels would eventually go.
Closer to home in Fresno, a 2-alarm apartment fire leaves 1 person injured. It broke out just before 4 o'clock this afternoon on Ashland near West Avenue. 1 person has 2nd-degree burns on their hands. No other injuries to report. There's no word yet on the cause of that fire. A disturbing trend as more teenagers are scaling the border wall to get into the United States.
Salvador Rivera has an update in tonight's border report.
As this 13-year-old boy climbed the border barrier, down below, his family waved goodbye. They brought him here. Their goal was to see him make it to the other side and have Border Patrol agents pick him up.
The father was able to record and see his son was going to the other side.
This unidentified woman says she knows the boy's family and spoke to the father about why he sent his son over the wall. The boy, who is from Central America, had been living at the migrant camp just south of the San Ysidro port of entry for more than 2 months. Many parents here, out of desperation, have begun sending their sons on the same journey.
The vast majority of the parents are sending their older sons. They don't want them suffering. They fear their kids are going to pick up bad habits since they are here not doing anything with a lot of idle time to waste.
Others in the camp say many teenage boys from the camp have already made the same trek.
Parents feel a need to send their children hoping they become something in life. They risk sending their sons across. They sacrifice. It's very difficult for a parent having to throw their sons over to the other side.
Exact figures are not available as to how many teen boys from the camp have crossed the border like this boy did. As to what happened to the young man, after being picked up by agents, he was likely taken to a Border Patrol station for processing before being turned over to Health and Human Services. Salvador Rivera, Border Report.
Still to come on Eyewitness News at 11, it's the first one of the year. We'll have details on tonight's pink supermoon right after your pinpoint weather forecast.
And super hot weather. It will be here in just days, each day getting warmer. That's next in your pinpoint forecast. First, your allergy forecast from the Buzz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Center.
Visit Fresno Acura for attractive offers on the RDX.
Ready to go solar? Bratton Solar will take care of you from start to finish. Commercial or residential, we do your custom installation ourselves, so you know the work is done right, on time and on budget. Reduce your power bills with green energy. Call or visit our website now.
At Papa Murphy's, we knead seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Spin class was brutal. I bet. Hey, don't forget to check your blind spots. No worries. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on? Sure. It's wireless. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password? It's Buick Envision. That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking. Me too.
The all-new Buick Envision. Built around you. All of you. Current eligible non-GM lessees. Get this low-mileage lease on this 2021 Buick Envision for around $289 per month. Visit SenCalBuick.com today.
I believe it's my responsibility as a leader in this community to take the vaccine and do my part to. Vaccine is going to allow businesses to be open so that they can support their family. It's important that everyone does their part and for everyone to take the vaccine. If you're not going to do it for yourself, then at least do it for your loved ones and those that you come in contact with.
Do your part. Get vaccinated. Visit ourbestshot.org.
Visit Fresno Acura for attractive offers on the RDX. Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by the Kgpe47 Automotive family. Now, your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Have you seen the moon tonight? It is really incredible. It's tonight's pink supermoon. Supermoons appear bigger and brighter because they're actually a little closer to the Earth. It's named pink not because of color. It's just the regular color, but it accompanies the blossoming of flowers in spring. So 2 more supermoons expected to happen in May and June. And I can tell you, it does look a lot closer outside just a little while ago. It's one of those moons that you could serve dinner on. It's huge in the sky. We are looking right here at our valley cam up at Meadow Lakes, and we had several changes through the day. For one thing, you'll notice these bubbling clouds, almost like a bowl of soup around Toll House there in the foreground. They swing up as the rest of the system clears out. The one that brought the rain yesterday, it is feeling already so much drier here on the valley floor that we forget that we're still looking at some snow showers in mountain areas through the evening hours this evening. More of those cumulus clouds bubbling on past the finally skies clearing and clearing quite crisp and clear by the time we get to this evening because the air is so fresh from the incoming air from this system. Just cooler too. 68, 10 degrees under that average of 78 for this time of year. And it's 58 outside right now here in Fresno, 57 in Hanford, 54 in Visalia, and 53 up in Merced. Your renewable solar forecast, counting on those clear, crisp skies once again with 25,000 megawatt hours of electricity generation set again for tomorrow. And precipitation totals from yesterday, not too bad for such a late season storm system here in Fresno. 15/100ths of an inch, just a little more in Hanford. Porterville close to 1/3 of an inch like Mariposa, and Yosemite already just close to that 1/2 inch mark. Satellite and radar right here showing what's left of the center of that system, and then those wraparound showers, snow showers, just kind of dotting the Sierra. They're not causing any accumulation at this point, but they will remain as part of the forecast for the next few hours before all is probably said and done by the time we get into the first couple hours of morning tomorrow morning. Pinpoint forecast keeping us dry through the rest of the week after these leftover showers leave us. There will be no more for the near future. Air quality still looking pretty good, though for tomorrow, the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District is forecasting moderate category of air quality for Fresno and Tulare counties. Tonight, 47 degrees in Fresno, 43 in Dos Palos, 44 in Los Banos, with highs here 75 and better up the road on the 99. Temperatures tonight to the south of Fresno, 43, 44 degrees. You can see about 74, 75 for this region. 44 tonight in Visalia, 43 in Kingsburg, and you see 72 for your high for tomorrow. Below freezing again, Shaver, Huntington, and Dinky Creek. Highs here tomorrow from 65 in Oakhurst to the mid-50s up in Yosemite. And your extended forecast for the Sierra showing temperatures rising here, but we are dry from here on out and breezy this weekend after temperatures make their way all the way up to 94 for a very warm day, the warmest yet this year, this Friday, and tapering off with a little cooling and breezy conditions after that.
Justin, thank you. Meanwhile, if you're looking for work, there's a section on our website that can help you find a job. Here's a look at some of the current listings on the Job Corner. They include an opening for a housekeeper, a sales associate, and an electrician. You can find these jobs and others on our website. Just go to yourcentralvalley.com and click on the tab that says Jobs.
Coming up in sports.
And the best in the game.
What an next Bulldog did in Cleveland to generate that post-game reaction. Sports Central coming up next.
Allard's Art is your local source for all of your drawing and painting needs, from blank canvas to professional framing, plus the Valley's largest assortment of fine pens. Allard's Art on Blackstone and Barstow.
For more information on this business, go to yourcentralvalley.com and click on Central Valley Local.
Maybe it's only a feeling, only a dream, only a day trip that lasts long after sundown. Maybe it's only a weekend or a moment. But sometimes those only things are the only things that matter. The Jeep Grand Cherokee. There's only one.
Now, well-qualified returning Grand Cherokee lessees can lease the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $239 a month. Visit your local Jeep dealer today for this great offer.
New delicious wok seared steak and shrimp. Order today from Panda Express.
We are the first line, out on the front lines, working together day and night.
We salute the American farmer, grocer, and truck driver who work to keep our communities fed. With their service, we're stronger together.
And we're stronger, stronger together. We rise up in our time of need. We're local, strong, and stand with our community.
Clovis is a city of leaders built on the pillars of friendship, character, and hard work, where being a neighbor means more than just living next door to someone. At Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, you can depend on us. We're leading the way with selection, award-winning customer service, and hard-working vehicles like these. Save big on Motor Trend's Truck of the Year during Ram Truck Month, going on now. Come experience the Clovis difference.
Now yourcentralvalley.com, pros who know.
Stay healthy. Boost your immune system at Madge Medical Clinic with our special high-dose IV vitamin C therapy. Call 559-740-7989.
For more expert advice, go to yourcentralvalley.com/pros who know.
CBS 47 is on your side. Contact us for Eyewitness News Investigates. Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
Now in his fifth Major League season, former Bulldog Jordan Luplow has struggled to find an everyday spot in the outfield. But after hitting 5 homers in his first 16 games this year with the Indians, Luplow getting a rare start against a right-handed pitcher tonight. And in the 10th inning, he rewarded his manager in a big way.
Now the 1-1, swung on, hit high, hit deep to left. Lynn is back, still going back, and it is gone! A game-winning walk-off 2-run home run for Jordan Luplow.
How about that? Luplow going deep off Alex Colomé in extra innings to give the Indians a 5-3 win. Luplow's 6th homer of the year, his 3rd in 20 plate appearances against right-handed pitching. And things got even more fun afterwards with the MLB Network.
Kind of monotonous, and you hear it a lot, but it's true, man. The best in the game.
Oh, God. Man. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that was violent.
Oh, my gosh.
Boys, that was a good one right there.
Oh, my God.
Did that hurt?
He got you good.
It doesn't taste great, I'll tell you that.
Good stuff. Meantime, Aaron Judge turning 29 on Monday, and Judge trying to spark a comeback against the Orioles in Baltimore. The RBI double into the corner cuts the Yankees deficit in half. Now 4-1 Orioles in the 8th with the bases jacked. Looks like they're going to score 2 runs here, but Judge gets thrown out at 3rd with 2 outs. A base running no-no. They would actually rule Judge was tagged out before the 2nd runner scored, which would also mean an early shower for Yanks manager Aaron Boone, who was ejected. Yanks his last 10. Also Monday, the Dodgers lost in extras to the Reds, and the Giants shut out the Rockies 12-0. Well, starting April 30th, more fans are going to be allowed at home events for Fresno State spring sports. The athletic department announcing 33% capacity will now be permitted. That's up from 20% capacity they'd been allowing since April 17th. And finally, speaking of Bulldog softball, senior pitcher Haley Dolcini is being mentioned with some of the nation's best players. Dolcini has been selected as one of 25 finalists for the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year. This award, considered the most prestigious honor in Division I softball. Haley's the first Bulldog to be named a finalist for this award since Jamie Southern in 2005. The Ferndale, California native put up some eye-popping numbers this season, a 17-3 record with 10 shutouts and 2 perfect games. The winner of the award going to be revealed prior to the Women's College World Series in early June. Great to have a Bulldog on that list. Guys, back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott. Still to come tonight, an ocean of flowers, a so-called super bloom, is drawing visitors to a lake in the northern part of the state. We have their reaction next.
Where can you find hope? Hope that will help you manage the stress and anxiety brought on by COVID-19. Hope lives here in California at Cal Hope. Wherever you are, whenever you need to talk to someone, call the Cal Hope Warm Line at 833-317-HOPE. That's 833-317-4673. And visit calhope.org. Hope lives here.
Carl, what have you done?
Think anyone will notice?
Yes. Yeah.
If you ride, you get it.
Yeah, they will.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I don't want to tell you how to think.
We are sitting on 400 years of a very intentionally racist system.
I want to give you something to think about.
Where there is water, there could be life.
The Dunlund Report. Weekdays at 4 on News Nation.
I am announcing today my candidacy. No, but I was born in England.
Fox probably would not have allowed me to do this interview. Okay, there I said it.
We become a nation that doesn't care about civility anymore.
Banfield, weeknights at 7 on News Nation.
This Rally's Candy Bacon Mother Cruncher Chicken Sandwich is for Erin. Because if she'll earn herself a sweet tip. So Rally's added some sweet candy bacon and onion tanglers on a crispy chicken breast. Ooh, sweet. Fuel up with the Candy Bacon Mother Cruncher, Erin. After all, you've earned it. Free delivery fee when you use our new rewards app.
Registration is now open for parents seeking to enroll their child in Fresno Unified's free early learning programs, including dual immersion. Children who turn 4 by December 2nd, 2021 can begin pre-kindergarten for the 2021 through 2022 school year. Don't hesitate, register now. Because children who start school early build an important foundation for success. To learn more about registration, visit FresnoUnified.org.
If you still need your COVID vaccine, we tell you when and where you can get one.
And weather-wise, temperatures warming up across the valley. Join us in the morning.
And coming up on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, tonight's guests are actor Anthony Mackie and Oscar winner Jon Batiste.
Low water levels at a lake near Sacramento often draw curiosity seekers, but this year parts of the dry lake bed are now a sea of purple. Acres of lupines have appeared for a super bloom at Folsom Lake. That happens when the timing of temperature, rainfall, and dry spells align just right.
Death Valley just had one a few years ago that was beyond amazing, but this is spectacular.
Wildflowers have their own weather sweet spots, but generally come around at different areas once every 10 years or so.
Beautiful.
Really is.
Yeah. Super moon, super bloom.
That's right. Super
We're looking at some super warm temperatures now. Into the 90s by Thursday, 94, warmest day yet this year, Friday, and still well above the average, which is 78 degrees through the weekend.
All right, thanks, Justin. That'll do it for this edition of Eyewitness News at 11.
The Late Show is next. Good night.
CBS 47 Eyewitness News is on air, online, and on the go. Take Eyewitness News with you and share your stories with us on Facebook, Twitter, and on yourcentralvalley.com.